is CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Sanjay. Maru. Thanks for joining us. The jury is now deliberating the fate of a Toronto man charged with killing a young woman from Essex. 20-year-old Juliana Panunzio and her friend 18-year-old Christine Crooks of Toronto were both shot to death on January 19th of 2021. 27-year-old Christopher Lucas from Toronto pleading not guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder in mid-October. He's been on trial ever since. None of the partygoers at the short-term rental that night have identified the shooter. The Crown says it was Lucas. The defense says it is a former co-accused, Trevor Barnett. The jury of 6 women and 6 men have heard from 28 witnesses, including 6 experts, and they have 138 pictures or videos to sift through. The jury starting their deliberations just before 1 this afternoon. They are now sequestered in Welland until they come to a unanimous verdict. Windsor is mourning the loss of a longtime city builder and public servant. Former Windsor CAO and City Councillor Hilary Payne has died at the age of 93. Mayor Drew Dilkin says Payne was a role model for civic service, known for his intelligence, civility, and deep commitment to the city. Payne was the longest-serving CAO in Windsor's history before going on to serve 8 years as a city councillor. Born in Ireland, he moved to Canada in 1958 and remained deeply connected to his roots. A private family service will be held to honor him. Well, a major overnight snowfall made for a messy start to the day across Windsor, Essex. School buses were canceled, roads were slick, and police were kept busy responding to collisions throughout the morning commute. CTV's Bob Belichico reports on a day that saw icy streets, snow-covered driveways, and even flight disruptions.
Traffic was slow this morning as commuters navigated the slippery roads.
Our AM peak hour, when everybody was driving into work, was probably the worst that people would have seen, and that's because all through the night we had snow, but we didn't have vehicles driving on the snow.
City officials say salt trucks hit the road at 2 p.m. Wednesday, trying to stay ahead of the storm, but salt was ineffective.
We had really cold weather last night. We were under 10 degrees Celsius, which at that point, the salt's very ineffective. So we can put it down, but until you warm it up, it really doesn't do a lot.
It wasn't until cars started driving on it, the salt was activated.
So as the day went on, you'll see that the roads cleared, they got dark, they got wet.
Not everyone was happy with the return of snow.
Well, if I was skiing, yeah, I would love it. But I'm not skiing anymore, so no, I hate it.
Some broke their shovels.
Tried to pound on it to lift it up, and bam, that's what we got.
Shovel sales are good today, Bob.
So was the sale of salt.
Salt is flying off the shelf. I can't keep my 20 kg, my Windsor salt, but I have tons of other ice melts, and I've got lots of 10 kg salts.
Good Samaritans were removing a pile of snow at St. Alphonsus Church created when the city parking lot was plowed.
Yeah, they blocked the whole entrance for the parking lot, and we only have a 6 parking spot. So the officer was here, and he helped, and the 2 city workers also. So I'm very grateful.
The new rink at City Hall experienced its first major snowfall, but the ice cleaning machine needed some help.
Yeah, we're just going to have a little tractor, or we call it coyote, on the ice, and then we'll clean it up before we put the Zamboni on.
Over at the airport, there were 2 flight cancellations last night and this morning.
Absolutely, yeah, with zero visibility around the runways at one point, so it's, you try your best, but sometimes Mother Nature wins.
Officials at Windsor Airport say Air Canada canceled inbound flights to Windsor this morning because of delays across the network.
As for this afternoon, we do have our regularly scheduled flights with a couple of minor departure delays to Veradero and Toronto.
Travelers are encouraged to check for flight delays on the airport website or that of the air carrier. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
A 30-year-old Brampton truck driver has been sentenced for careless driving following a collision in Essex County. On September 23, 2022, Lovepreet Singh was driving eastbound on the 401 as he crested the hill at Bell River Road. Singh either didn't see in time or wasn't paying close enough attention. His transport slammed into the vehicle in front of him. 2 people in that vehicle died. Members of their family were in the vehicle ahead of them, and they witnessed the entire ordeal. Singh was on trial for dangerous dangerous driving when he decided to plead to the lesser charge under the Ontario Highway Traffic Act. Court learned he got a text message 26 seconds before the crash and his phone was on a call at the time of the collision. A judge sentenced Singh to 9 months in jail today, followed by a 4-year driving ban, noting he hopes it sends a message to the entire trucking profession. The judge saying today, quote, "The community needs to know that the ordinary risks of driving become extraordinary when due care is not exercised, especially in heavy vehicles and transport trucks." A driver is facing charges after failing to move over for emergency crews on Highway 401 in Lakeshore while impaired. OPP say an officer was stopped with lights flashing, assisting a tow truck at a collision earlier this afternoon. Police say a driver went past both vehicles without changing lanes and was subsequently stopped. That's when officers say they discovered the driver was impaired. A 42-year-old Windsor man now faces multiple charges. His license is suspended for the next 90 days and his vehicle will be impounded for 1 week. Canada's Privacy Commissioner is expanding his investigation into X after global backlash over Grok, the platform's chatbot. It's being used to generate explicit images of real people without their consent. CTV's Rachel Aiello looks into AI privacy concerns and what it means for Canadians.
The Privacy Commissioner is looking into whether billionaire Elon Musk's site X and xAI, the artificial intelligence company responsible for the platform's Grok chatbot, are violating federal law. Canada's top privacy watchdog is expanding an ongoing investigation into X and the social media site's use of Canadians' personal information to train AI models. In light of growing global concern over the platform's AI chatbot Grok being prompted by users to produce non-consensual, explicit, or sexualized images of real people. The commissioner said he decided to expand his investigation to address this issue, given its importance and the potential serious harms that it may cause to Canadians.
Privacy legislation as it is currently on the books will not protect you if someone grabs your imagery online, runs it through an image generator like Grok, sexualizes it, and then shares it with their followers.
Elon Musk companies were informed about the widening probe into whether X and xAI obtained consent to use Canadians' data to create deepfakes yesterday. The same day, xAI announced it would limit Grok's ability to generate explicit images. The federal minister of AI says while Canada isn't considering banning X, there's a government bill before Parliament proposing to amend the criminal code to crack down on deepfakes. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Media preview days are now over at the Detroit Auto Show. In years past, thousands of reporters would flock to the show and stay for 4 days, covering the latest and greatest in the auto sector. But with the surge in social media and reduction in news agencies' resources, the industry has shifted away from these grand spectacles. Automakers are now choosing instead to host the media at their own events instead of fighting for attention in one place. The name of the show has also changed. It's now just the Detroit Auto Show, no longer the North American International Auto Show. Motor Trend magazine's senior editor says she misses, quote, the good old days.
Having no press conferences is just, it makes me sad when I think about how Detroit was the news-making event of the year internationally. And sadly, that is not the case. But it's still a good show to come out as a consumer, kick some tires, drive some things, you know, maybe do a little shopping.
The other big change in this sector is, of course, electrification. In recent months, many automakers have postponed, canceled, or delayed the rollout or production of more electric vehicles, including the postponement of the Daytona Charger coming out of Windsor Assembly. They confess it doesn't seem like the appetite is there for an electric vehicle, but analysts all say it's coming one way or another.
When manufacturers were telling suppliers that they wanted to build hundreds of thousands of EVs, we told everybody to slow down because this just wasn't going to happen that quickly. And so we're going to see this transition to EVs, but it's going to take well into the 30s, probably into the 40s before we see a majority EVs on the street.
A Guelph man won tickets to an exclusive screening of the new Star Trek series, Starfleet Academy, in Toronto last night. The trouble is he needed an accessible ride to get there because he uses a wheelchair, and the service he relies on to get around was all booked up. As CTV's Spencer Turcott tells us, that means he couldn't go, but the stars of the series found a way to make it up to him.
And my favorite quote from Star Trek Voyager:
"You'd be hard-pressed to find a bigger Star Trek fan than Guelph's Mike Ashkowi.
Always wanted to get one of these."
He's a credited author for the Star Trek Adventures role-playing game.
There I am. First name. First credit. I write little pieces of fiction that expand the universe of Star Trek.
So it's only fitting that when Paramount Plus Canada ran a contest for tickets to an exclusive screening of the new series, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, he entered, and he won.
So I told them, okay, cool, I accept. I have to book a wheelchair taxi.
Ashkowi called Red Top Taxi in Guelph, but on such short notice, he was out of luck.
They couldn't accommodate me, not because of any malice or anything, just it was too busy that time. They were so apologetic when they told them why I was going to Toronto.
Red Top Taxi's president said the situation highlights the importance of accessible transportation and the need to expand those services in Guelph, saying in part, Red Top currently operates 6 wheelchair-accessible vans serving the entire city, including hospitals, long-term care, and retirement homes, as well as out-of-town trips. Due to the limited number of vehicles and consistently high demand, availability can be constrained, particularly during peak hours. An unfortunate case of déjà vu for Ashkowi, who ran into another accessibility roadblock in 2024 when he won tickets to a WWE event in Toronto.
If I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd only have 2 nickels, but weird that it's happened twice.
In an email to CTV News, Paramount Plus Canada said they were disappointed Ashkowi could not attend the event, but said they would find another opportunity for him to celebrate the premiere. And indeed, they did.
Michael! So sorry you couldn't be here. So sorry you couldn't make it, buddy. So much. We love you.
Stars from the series took time out of the red carpet to film personalized video messages for Ashkowi, including his favorite actor, Robert Picardo.
Michael, it's Robert Picardo here, your doctor from Star Trek Voyager and your doctor from Starfleet Academy. So sorry you were not able to get here tonight.
Heartbreak turned to happiness for Ashkowi, who thanks the cast for turning an inaccessible situation into an accessible one, encapsulating a core philosophy of the Star Trek franchise: infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Guelph.
For the first time in its history, NASA ends a mission early due to a medical emergency. That story coming up on Windsor's News Leader. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining me now for a look at the forecast. Gary, this was a news day dominated by frigid conditions and heavy snowfall. Can we expect more of the same in the coming days?
I think so. Good evening once again, Sanjay. Good evening, folks. 2 distinct areas of low pressure on their way as I speak, getting closer, and I'll talk about what they both will bring in the next, say, 48 to 72 hours. Today, snow early in the morning, very cold. A high of about -7 is still below seasonal. Obviously, our average would be -1 on the nose as of today's date. And the low of -11.6 felt like -22. Wind chill, obviously an issue. So we have a massive system working through the New England area, northeastern seaboard, headed towards the Maritimes, Atlantic Canada. That system exits, cold air in behind it, drier. That's why we got into a beautiful clearing in the afternoon, early evening. The next systems are cutting through upper Michigan, Wisconsin. That's 1, followed by 2 over northwestern Ontario. And both will bring snow directly into the heart of southwestern Ontario. There's your first brush, if you will, which intensifies 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, right around 6, 7 a.m. Some of us already out. Early shifts starting to get on the roads, dropping people off by 8, 9 to school, to work, etc. The timing's not great. And on top of that, by Saturday, Sunday, we'll see the spread of even more snow Look at this. Anywhere from Windsor, Essex towards Chatham, Kent, London, Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph, Ontario, Cambridge, Niagara Falls, Hamilton, and then, of course, the GTA due east towards Napanee, Bell River. We are tracking the computer models suggesting we're going to see 5 to 20 centimeters. It will work its way west to east, and the overnight temperatures are very cold. Minus 12 early tomorrow morning, pre-dawn feels like about minus 19 to minus 22. The winds out of the southwest throughout much of the day tomorrow will be gusting in the 40 to 50 range. It will be snowing early in the morning through the afternoon, tapering off in the evening before things get snowy again Saturday and Sunday. Cold temperatures, as you can see here. Snow is the story for the next 7 days straight, and the lows are in the minus double digits. Sanjay?
And as winter storms move through the region, drivers are being urged to slow down and stay calm. Experts say even short trips can quickly become unpredictable, and that panic can be more dangerous than the snow itself. CTV's Chris Campbell now on what drivers should do when things start to go wrong.
A quick tip before you go in the car is make sure that the lights are clear.
When winter weather hits, it doesn't take much for a routine drive to turn unpredictable.
Increase the following distance and slow down. That's the bottom line for winter driving.
But even cautious drivers can run into trouble when traction disappears.
Winter tires will help a lot, definitely. Studies have shown that winter tires would reduce your stopping distance by a third.
Jacob Amoud at the iDrive driving school in Windsor says panic is one of the biggest mistakes drivers make, especially when braking.
You actually want to release the brakes and reapply a technique called pumping the brakes.
You need to pack your patience when you're inside the vehicle. Give people around you plenty of room and plenty of space as they try to navigate these difficult conditions.
According to CAA, patience and preparation are two of the most important tools drivers have during winter storms.
You know, emergency happens when we least expect it. So an emergency kit will help you to deal with things that you're not expecting.
Pack blankets, extra clothes, and don't forget a shovel or booster cables.
It's better to have them with you, either to help yourself or to help someone else that's in your situation.
Ontario Provincial Police echo that, saying many winter emergencies could be avoided with preparation, even for short trips.
If you don't have to drive, then don't. If you can postpone your travel plans, then do so. There is no need for anyone to go out and find themselves stuck on a major highway for hours on end.
Police say once a vehicle loses control, things can escalate quickly.
So abrupt acceleration will lead to fishtailing at the back.
Pumping the brakes when you start to slide is key, and if the back of your car starts to fishtail, steer in the direction you want the front of the vehicle to go.
So just ease off the gas and steer where you want to go, look where you want to go. Keep your distance, slow down, and look as far as possible ahead.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
A Delaware judge today rejected a bid from Paramount Skydance to speed up a lawsuit targeting Warner Brothers Discovery. Paramount has been protesting a decision from Warner Brothers to reject its hostile bid of nearly $109 billion in favor of a proposed $83 billion buyout by Netflix. Paramount wanted a speedier hearing of its suit to force Warner Brothers to explain the reasoning behind its decision. A judge today, however, saying the media giant did not suffer cognizable, irreparable harm over alleged inadequate disclosures as the corporate tug-of-war continues in Hollywood. Canada's main stock index was up on the strength of the industrial and financial sectors. The TSX climbing 112 points in New York, the Dow adding 293, the Nasdaq up 58, the Canadian dollar losing 1/10 of a cent today. Turning now to our weekly segment, What's Up YQG, with Johnny Parks from our sister station 89X and our own Melanie Kentner, who spent the day over at the Detroit Auto Show.
Yeah, we're getting a sneak peek of the auto show floor. So, Johnny, what do you think so far?
It's got me thinking I need to replace my 2014 Equinox, but I can't decide. There's 41 different vehicle brands. I particularly like the Vanguard Motors restored classic cars. Mwah.
Yeah, there were a lot of old cars there, I noticed. That's as far as I go for technical.
There were some Chevrolets, I think. Yeah.
But you know what I like is the luxury brands.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have Porsche, they have Ferrari, they have every unaffordable car that you could possibly imagine.
That's why the window shopping is so good. It's like being a kid in a candy store.
Exactly. And they have so many interactive displays.
Yeah, we're going to check out the Jeep one. Very intense looking obstacle course. Weirdly enough, they told me I couldn't drive this one, but we'll get a ride and see how it goes.
Yeah, and you know what I like? So you register, and then you go up, you go through like this big steep climb, and then you go on angle, and you feel like the Jeep's going to completely tip over.
We were vertical. I don't know who was screaming louder, you or me, but it was a lot of fun, yeah.
It was great. And then we got to play a video game too, which I know is right up your alley.
Yeah, I mean, I did hit into the wall a couple times on the simulator. It was like driving Grand Prix, which I learned I can't do, so.
But they have assisted brakes, so you don't have to worry. Okay, now let's talk about the tickets for the public show.
Easy, you can get them online. It's $26 US for adults.
And it's $11 for kids. So we'll put the links on our website. Now, there are some other things going on in Windsor this weekend.
Yeah, comedian Andrew Santino is going to be at Caesars on Friday. Hilarious.
And unrelated, there's a pickle fest in Walkerville.
I love pickles. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's Saturday. There's also a wedding extravaganza happening at Kubota Club.
Exactly. So many things going on. Make sure you check them out and check out the links on our website. From the Detroit Auto Show floor, that's what's up, YQG.
In the first two parts of our series on medical tourism, we've heard warnings from both the patient and doctors as to what can go wrong when you go abroad for medical procedures. But who is held financially responsible when something goes wrong? CTV's Pauline Chan looks at how insurance and legal liability may not protect patients as much as they think.
When Nicole Grigorov set out for her mummy makeover in Costa Rica last fall, she thought she had insurance. But when she developed sepsis and nearly died, she found out she wasn't covered.
Actually, I have two forms of insurance, which I thought were suffice. I have the travel medical insurance, and I also have insurance on one of my credit cards. And one of them is critical illness and disability, so I'm arguing with them right now.
I get calls from time to time from people asking that exact question, and I explain to them absolutely not. And other scenarios too, like heart or cancer, or anything out of the country that you are going to, knowingly that there will be a surgery or a treatment, is absolutely not covered by an insurance company.
The Ontario Health Ministry says some forms of cosmetic surgery are actually covered by OHIP, saying OHIP would provide payment for out-of-country cosmetic procedures should they meet specific requirements as outlined in Regulation 522 of the Health Insurance Act, adding, under which surgery for alteration of appearance may be a benefit. Some examples include repair for trauma scars, removal of large benign lesions, post-mastectomy breast reconstruction, etc. But not the kind of cosmetic surgery Nicole had. Patient M recently went to Turkey for several procedures, including dental work, hair transplant, and a tummy tuck, knowing insurance would not cover any mishaps. On his flight back, he developed fluid buildup in his abdomen. It took 3 procedures over 2 weeks to clear it. But despite the complications, he's happy, saying, the estimated cost savings compared to having the same procedures done in Canada were significant, likely close to $60,000 to $75,000 for all the procedures. Both M and Nicole say mishaps do happen, even in Canada. Nicole looked into suing the Costa Rican clinic, but was told the time and expense for an overseas case would not be worth it. The clinic promised a refund of the $20,000 she spent on the surgery, but she has yet to see a cent. The loss of her fingers and toes would make running her resort business up north too difficult, so she's planning to sell it. And her family has set up a GoFundMe to help with expenses in the meantime.
I try to do some of my makeup and my hair with my niece, but, you know, I'm trying to do things for myself, but it's going to definitely be a forever process.
Grigorov says looking back at her ordeal, the cosmetic surgery seemed so unnecessary now, but she wants to tell her story to make sure others are informed.
Any surgery is a risk, and I really didn't have to have a mummy makeover, and I know that. I just wanted to look better and feel better about myself. I'm 50.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Soup was the main course at an event this week at the St. Clair College Center for the Arts, all for a good cause. Chicken gumbo, butternut squash, chicken noodle, and more on the menu Wednesday for a fundraiser in support of the college's culinary program. For just $15, it was all you could eat, and with more than 500 patrons, plenty of items sold out. The hearty annual feast has become a Windsor favorite alongside other culinary events such as Potato Fest.
I would say the enchilada soup was the best. It was a vegetarian enchilada, and it had toppings with cilantro, onion, sour cream, and cheese, and it was delicious.
Gary is back with a final look at weather. Gary.
Sanjay, I'm counting on snow tomorrow morning, early pre-dawn to start, light, picking up in terms of the intensity of that snowfall, say around 6, 7 a.m. and right through the rest of the morning. Temperatures, well, -1 would be average for this time of the year, but it will feel even colder, especially in the morning through the mid-afternoon. And a couple of things to note, just looking at the spread for the next, say, 4 days straight. Friday through to Monday, we'll see at least 2, maybe 3 storms, and the timing isn't great for all of them. It's during, essentially, when we're up and around, even on the weekends, mornings, early afternoons, when we'll be traveling. So taking your time and slowing down is good advice, I think. Cold as well, especially in the mornings, with -18 to -30 wind chill values projected in parts of southwestern Ontario over the next 5 to 7 days. That is cold. Wherever you are, bundle up. Still, enjoy your weather. Good night.
Finally tonight, a 4-person crew of astronauts is back on Earth after their mission to the International Space Station was cut short because of a medical condition.
They deploy around 119 miles per hour, and they'll decelerate it down to about 15, 16 miles per hour.
The crew splashed down in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego early this morning, capping off a 10-hour descent from the space station. They were brought home, however, weeks ahead of schedule for the undisclosed condition, the first time NASA has done so because of a medical emergency. NASA officials say the crew member in question is doing fine.
They're all going to the hospital as we had determined days ago as the proper thing to do under the circumstances. But as I mentioned, the crew member in question specifically is doing fine.
Officials have not said which of the 4 astronauts suffered the medical issue in question, and they're expecting the crew to return to Houston tomorrow. And that is your news for tonight. Thank you so much, as always, for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. Don't forget, for news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 6 and 11.